Our ancestors forged a sustainable relationship with their land and their water. They managed their water and their land in a culturally sustainable way that would ensure the replenishment of their natural resources. The evidence is there today. Our people, they camped along rivers, they camped above water sources, they fished, they hunted, they gathered all of the different types of resources that were available to them. Water is spiritually significant to our people. It's the basis of their dreaming and their songlines.
Without the water, I would have believed there would be nothing. You know, you've got to, growing up with the water, it's important. But water is important.
Aboriginal people have got really a strong connection to the water and to the land and the earth. Because once you take something out of that earth, you put it back. If you don't, it's destroyed.
The AWI has come a long way since June 2012, which four of us were employed, and with 9 of us now on deck, we've actually done a lot in that short amount of time. We've rolled out a lot of workshops, scoping. You know, we've actually made communities aware of what water possibilities of water, and you know, there's over 50 workshops we've run around the state. We've also currently the only Aboriginal water unit in the country, maybe the world. So we're paving the way. There's a lot of other states and jurisdictions looking at us and watching us closely, and at a federal level, but also at a state level. So we've got a lot of pressure on us, and I think, you know, what we've achieved in the last just over 12 months, we're all very proud of, and we've got a lot more work to do.
Special part of the river runs here.
The aim of the Aboriginal Water Initiative is to build the capacity of communities, but also to build the capacity of the New South Wales Office of Water to be able to implement culturally appropriate processes for engaging Aboriginal communities. It's also about connecting with community and being able to educate them about their rights and access to water, about becoming involved, being able to have a voice in the decision-making process of the water sharing planning and water reform.
They're in the regions because they know local communities, but they also have to work across the state. So they work on country and also off country. So the facilitators have a role of being able to work with communities that they know and some that they don't. So obviously we aim to get them in their own community, but our priorities move them all over the state. We really wanted to emphasise what communities are doing on the ground with water, how they're engaging it, what they're using it for, and the opportunities water provides.
So Annie, what did it used to look like here?
Well, it was much more deeper. The banks wasn't there. You can sit down and walk down towards the river.
My role is to coordinate the on-ground works and ensuring that we roll out and conduct workshops. The workshops are to educate and inform the communities about the water sharing planning process. It also informs them about their rights to water and what opportunities are there for them within the water sharing planning process. With the community, Aboriginal community water facilitators, their role is to work closely with community and going out on site and identifying and recording and mapping their cultural values.
And then we're going to do a market garden.
I think the best part is the implementation of this Aboriginal Water Initiative. I think it's a very important step for both government and community. As Aboriginal people have really never been engaged fully in the water management process. I see this as a very valuable step towards realistic advantage for Aboriginal people within the water management framework.
For netting, for baskets, and also bush tucker. You can eat the tube down the water.
It's real good because the Aboriginal Water Initiative, they didn't come in and document all this stuff, what we're doing now, like the grasses, the reeds, and even just giving you little stories about it. There's no way it's going to be helpful to anyone. But if they come down and document it all, well, we know it's going to be there for future generations to use.
I need to know that I can still practice my traditional practices, what my father and what my mother taught me, and grandmother and grandfather, so then it can go down, eh?
We've had the opportunity to work with many Aboriginal communities across New South Wales, and it's been exciting and very rewarding. And in particular, we've worked with Ranella in the Tenterfield community, and Ranella is a basket weaver.
It makes me feel whole again. It makes me feel me. Takes me back to when I was a kid with all the elders. It takes me back to all the times when we grew up with all the old fellas. It takes me back to a place that I don't have now. So for me, it's a medicine. It helps me to keep my memories alive, and not just my memories, but also the traditions. And when I go and sit out a river, it could be my mother's favourite fishing spot. It might be where my uncle caught a fish, big guru, cod, or it might be where that we swam as kids. But it'll be a place of significance. Somehow, some way, I use my weaving to reconnect back to the past.
I think the Water Initiative can help a lot in it. I think you need to tap into all the Aboriginal people that have a little bit of knowledge. And with that, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got, before you long, you'll have plenty of people to extract enough knowledge on the water.
Well, they're my people. No matter what tribe they come from, they're still my people. And they know what it's like to walk onto another land. And they'll show their respect. And they'll feel the same way I feel. And they know how it's important it is. And that's the way it's got to work. It's got to come from our own people to walk on our own land.
We lived on the land, and we respected the land, and we were a part of the land. And we've been getting good responses, but you know, when we talk about water, they say, oh, you know, water, what's this got to do with us? And, you know, they say, well, you know, once we get into the workshops and we run the workshops and they sort of get the idea and understanding of what it's all about, then they say, oh, you know, this is great. I mean, we really need to be involved in this, and we really need to be able to have our say. Barraville is situated about 6 hours from Sydney. It's a very beautiful little town. It's very picturesque. It's surrounded by beautiful mountains, beautiful scenery, and beautiful waterways. And it is such a pretty little place.
When we go looking for cobra is mainly in the summertime because the water's warmed in, and you see them in the logs, and you'll see the little bit of cobra dust or cobra poo on the log, and you know that there's cobra in there then, you know, and if you cut it with an axe, then you could chop him off into a block, then you could shaking like that and the cobra will come out.
Well, we get up, have our breakfast, and we sing out, "Come on, all you fellas, we've got it's time to go. We've got to, get the cobra before the tide come in." And then the boys start finding logs and start chopping it up. And we're on the top of the bank waiting for them to throw all the logs up so we can knock out the cobras. Yeah. And then we just put them in the cans, and if that's not enough, we move on somewhere else and find some more, just to fill up the can to share around, share to the people, especially all the old fellas. Yeah, they love all cobra. They love the cobra. So when I'm finished here, I'm going home to have some. I still got some left.
Now this one here is too long, the fella. I'll put it in the bucket. Put it in my mouth.
Waiora is also a culturally significant place within Barraville. It's a women's site and also a family gathering site.
It's a place where it's significant, and it's always been from our people, from the elders back, from the elders and elders to elders. So it rippled down to all the elders here today. It is important. It's, in the early days, we walked here and there was food. We've learnt out the children, we've learnt to swim here in the early days.
Where did they freshwater catfish? Used to come in here, they make nests with all these stones, see?
There's significant sites in the area here. But you only got to look around you and see what's here, There mightn't be much water, but it's important.
It's unbelievable, you have everybody here and kids screaming, just diving around in that beautiful water. Just as big green as anything, and deep, but now it's not. So see, that's all the farmers using all the waters.
Well, the thing is, there's got to be enough water in the rivers for us to do what we've got to do. The ancestors always had enough water. You see, they had plenty of water to go diving for their turtles and go down for their jitty and everything like that. But now there's not that much water in there. And when the ancestors used to cut the canoes out of the trees, they used to be able to go for ages on the river. You see, and now there's all gravel and logs and everything in the way, so we can't really make it from one place to another on the water. You have to get out and walk because the water levels just drop too much.
We believe that this initiative can change a lot of what hasn't happened with Aboriginal people, given that water management stuff has been going on since sort of Federation. And this is the first time in over 100 years now that Aboriginal people have been asked to the table and had a voice in how the government regulates the actual water that runs down through the rivers.
It's a great program, and we've connected with so many community people across New South Wales. And community, we've had such a great response, and we need to keep this initiative happening in order to be able to ensure that Aboriginal communities maintain a voice in how water is managed in New South Wales. I'd like to strongly encourage community to participate and be involved in this program. This program is your opportunity to be able to have your say in how water is managed across New South Wales.